Penguin Random House Audio presents The Fixer, Saving Startups from Death by Politics. This is the author, Bradley Tusk. This book is for Harper, Abigail, and Lyle. Section 1. When Travis Fought Bill. Chapter 1. Turns out you can fight City Hall. Dallas-Fort Worth Airport is a fairly miserable place to be on a good day. When it's raining cats and dogs, and flights to LaGuardia are being wiped off the board, DFW is a solid contender for the ninth circle of hell. I was sitting at a United gate, hoping for a standby seat on the one flight to New York not yet canceled. My phone lit up. Travis. Travis Kalanick, at the time, was the co-founder and CEO of Uber. We had been working together since 2011, fighting off attempts by the taxi industry to prevent ride-sharing from existing. Travis in his role as CEO, and me as the founder and CEO of Tusk Strategies, a political consulting firm based in New York. We'd managed, so far, to keep taxis at bay and break into every market in the United States. But all of a sudden, in the summer of 2015, we found ourselves facing a new front in the war. You see what de Blasio just did? No, I'm stuck at DFW. What'd he do this time? Announced he wants to cap our growth at 1% a year. Basically kills the business. Go check it out online and call me back. I did some quick research. Politico, the Daily News, and the Times all had stories. Travis was right. I'd been hoping he was exaggerating. Bill de Blasio, New York City's mayor, had just proposed legislation that would kill Uber's growth and operations. De Blasio had been in office for around 18 months, and at that point exerted full and complete control over the 51-member city council who'd be voting on Uber's future. He hated technology, hated business, hated the private sector, and was as responsive to the whims and needs of his campaign donors, in this case the taxi medallion owners, as the city council was to his. Not a good dynamic. 2 minutes later, Travis and I talked again. This is bad, I told him. No shit. If it happens in New York, the whole world is going to see it, which means it could happen anywhere. We can't let that happen. Travis, a close city council vote is 49-2. 48-3 is considered a nail-biter. We need 26 votes to beat this. There's a reason they say you can't fight City Hall. Then figure out how to get us 26 votes. Okay. I paused thinking. 2 questions. How much can I spend? And is there any argument I can't use? Whatever you need. My mind started spinning with possibilities. The flight miraculously started boarding, and even more miraculously, I got off the standby list and onto the plane. Middle seat in the row right next to the bathroom, but at least I was heading home with a pretty big problem to figure out before I got there. It may seem hard to imagine today when to Uber somewhere has become a verb, but Uber wasn't always inevitable. As a fledgling startup attempting to disrupt the taxi industry, it faced challenges from regulators left and right. Labor hated it because it was impossible to control, much less organize, thousands of freelance contractors. The taxi industry hated it because it took just one on-demand, seamlessly transacted Uber ride for customers to switch their loyalty forever. Politicians across the country hated it because Uber's success just meant being screamed at by their donors in the taxi industry. The stakes were high. If Uber was unable to operate freely in America's most important financial and cultural center, it was almost a precedent for legislators all over the world to shut us down. We were fucked without New York. There was no way to justify Uber's high valuation, its investors' lofty expectations, and its promises of changing the way people get around if we couldn't freely operate in the world's most visible city. As I sat there on the tarmac waiting for takeoff, I thought hard about the man standing between us and Uber's future. Bill de Blasio became mayor of New York City in 2013 by portraying himself as a champion of the left, as the antagonist of income inequality, as the hero of people of color. He structured every fight, every policy, every issue as de Blasio, champion of the oppressed, versus big, bad corporation. The politics worked well for him, since it forced virtually every union, newspaper, pundit, political influencer, and everyone else in the system to take his side or risk being thrown out of the progressive mafia. His play was clearly going to be de Blasio defending poor taxi drivers against the big, bad, multi-billion-dollar Uber. And that play had a very good chance of success. We had to come up with a different story. I thought hard about de Blasio's pain points. He wasn't acting from an honest place of belief.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?